Welcome to the Power Book of Podcasts. Unlock your potential with powerful book summaries that inspire personal growth and broaden your understanding of the world. Each week, we explore life-changing ideas, from leadership to mindset strategies to keys for happiness and success. Learn actionable insights to apply in your daily life. Join our growing community of thinkers and seekers. Like, comment, and hit that subscribe button now. It's time to supercharge your mind with the Power Book of Podcasts.
All right, strap in, everyone. Today, we are taking a deep dive into the world of Elon Musk.
Oh yeah, buckle up.
We're going deep into excerpts from Ashlee Vance's biography, Elon Musk, Tesla, SpaceX, and the quest for a fantastic future. And honestly, this book is wild.
I know, right? It's a real page-turner.
We're not just talking about your average tech CEO here.
Yeah.
Musk's ambitions are on a whole other level.
Totally. It's mind-blowing the things he's trying to accomplish.
I mean, the guy's aiming to revolutionize space travel, transform the entire car industry.
Let's not forget sustainable energy. He's all over it.
It's like he's got this master plan to single-handedly drag us into the future.
Yeah, it's almost like he pulled his to-do list straight from a science fiction novel.
Exactly, and that's what makes him so fascinating.
Oh, absolutely.
Is he some kind of visionary genius? Or just a reckless showman? Or maybe a crazy mix of both.
That's the million-dollar question Vance wrestles with throughout the book.
Yeah.
He paints this really multifaceted picture of Musk.
Right.
You see his brilliance, obviously, and his drive, but also his flaws, the controversies, the whole nine yards. Even Vance's own encounters with Musk were, well, let's just say interesting.
Okay, spill the tea. What kind of encounters are we talking about?
Well, how about a staring contest to gauge Musk's trustworthiness?
With a staring contest.
Seriously.
Oh, totally serious. I think it speaks to Musk's intensity, his focus, his unorthodox way of doing things, and that unconventionality, it comes up again and again.
Yeah, I can see that.
Not just in his personal life, but in the way he builds and runs his companies, too.
Like with his early fascination with ultracapacitors.
Exactly. Remember those? The high-powered energy storage devices.
Oh, yeah. I have to admit, the image of young Musk dreaming of laser guns powered by ultracapacitors is pretty awesome.
Right. It's so out there.
Mm-hmm.
But it also reveals something crucial about Musk. Even back then, he was connecting these seemingly random ideas.
Interesting.
It wasn't just a kid's fantasy. He was already picturing how these advancements could have real-world applications, and that becomes a pattern throughout his life. So it wasn't just ambition. It was this early ability to grasp complex technologies and see their potential in ways other people just didn't.
Exactly. He could see the bigger picture.
And that brings us to another gem from the book. His battle with Ford over the name Model E.
Oh man, the Model E saga. It's classic Musk. It shows his wit, his understanding of branding, and let's just say his playful approach to going against the grain.
Yeah, he's definitely got a mischievous side.
I mean, who trademarks Model Y just to complete the SEXY sequence for his car models? That's pure Elon.
It's amazing.
It's hilarious, but it's also brilliant.
Yeah, he definitely has a knack for the dramatic. But remember that story about the engineer who mentioned his eyesight was affecting his work, and Musk pretty much told him to go get LASIK surgery?
Oh yeah, that's a great example of his laser focus on efficiency.
Yeah.
And his direct approach to problem solving.
I guess you could call it that.
You know, some might even say ruthless.
So unconventional, ruthless, brilliant. It seems like there are a lot of words to describe Musk, but it's hard to pin him down.
Exactly. He's one of a kind.
So where did this all begin? What shaped the worldview of this enigmatic entrepreneur and set him on this crazy path?
Well, it all starts in South Africa, and trust me, his early years were far from ordinary.
Okay, now we're getting the good stuff.
Musk's childhood was, by his own account, quite tough. You know, he was born in Pretoria, and even as a kid, he was super into technology, always reading, always learning.
Sounds familiar.
Oh, yeah. And get this. He sold his first computer program, a game he called Blastar, when he was only 12.
No way! That's incredible.
Right. But he was also bullied a lot and had a strained relationship with his dad. These experiences definitely left their mark.
So even from a young age, we see this contrast. Brilliance and innovation butting up against personal challenges and this fierce determination to overcome them.
Absolutely. It's like those early struggles fueled his ambition and ability to focus like a laser on his passions.
Makes sense.
He developed this incredible ability to visualize complex systems. It's almost like he's got a built-in CAD program running in his head.
That's amazing. No wonder he was able to grasp these complex physics concepts and turn them into business plans, even as a teenager.
Right. He was always thinking ahead.
And he was actually putting these plans into action. Remember his video arcade venture with his cousins?
Oh, yeah, that's a great story. They almost got it off the ground. They even secured a lease and everything,
Seriously.
but they couldn't get the necessary approvals from the adults in their lives.
That's hilarious. Almost like a preview of the regulatory hurdles he would face later in his career.
It's like foreshadowing.
Totally. But before we get into all of his entrepreneurial adventures, let's rewind a bit and talk about his escape from South Africa.
Right, his big move.
He's often mentioned that he wanted to avoid serving in the apartheid military as a key reason for leaving.
That's definitely part of it, for sure. But there's also this deeper desire to be at the heart of the tech world, you know?
Yeah, Silicon Valley was calling.
Exactly. He felt stifled in South Africa. So he used his mom's Canadian citizenship to get to Canada. And from there, it was a straight shot to the United States.
It's like destiny was calling, and he had to answer.
Right. And he did.
But even with all his drive and talent, his path to success wasn't exactly a walk in the park, was it?
Not even close. He had to learn some tough lessons along the way, face some serious setbacks.
Yeah, that's what makes his story so interesting.
Definitely. The resilience, the adaptability, that sheer willpower, it's inspiring, even if you don't always agree with his methods.
And those early years in Canada and the U.S., it's like they were a crucible, shaping him into the entrepreneur he would become.
Oh, absolutely. He was honing his skills, figuring out the business world, and starting to build a reputation.
Sometimes a controversial one, but still a reputation.
Yeah, for sure. He was making waves.
Okay, let's dive into those early entrepreneurial waters. First up, Zip2, his online city guide that was way ahead of its time.
Seriously, way ahead of its time.
I mean, this was before Google Maps, before everyone had GPS on their phones.
Right. Back when the internet was just getting started.
Yeah, and Musk saw the potential of bringing local business information online.
Total visionary. He co-founded Zip2 with his brother Kimball, and their early days were a real grind.
It was the Wild West of the internet back then.
Exactly. They were pioneers trying to convince businesses to advertise online. And a lot of those businesses were skeptical, like, what's this internet thing anyway?
I can only imagine. Door-to-door sales pitches, working crazy hours, probably sleeping on the floor in the office.
It was anything but glamorous.
But they persevered. They started attracting talent from established companies like Silicon Graphics and eventually landed deals with huge newspapers like the New York Times and the Chicago Tribune.
It's crazy to think they were basically paving the way for the online directories and maps we use every day without even thinking about it.
It's mind-blowing how much the internet has changed since then.
It really is.
Their timing was perfect. They rode the dot-com wave. And even though they had their share of internal conflicts and power struggles—
Every startup does, right?
True. But they eventually sold Zip2 to Compaq for a cool $307 million.
Not bad for a couple of guys sleeping on the floor.
Right. But that experience taught Musk some crucial lessons about leadership, managing growth, and navigating the sometimes treacherous waters of the tech industry.
Oh, definitely. It was a crash course in entrepreneurship.
And a pretty successful one, all things considered.
Totally. But even with that win under his belt, Musk had a bigger, bolder ideas brewing.
He was just getting started, right?
Oh, yeah. He was already setting his sights on something far more ambitious, something that could completely shake up a massive industry: online banking.
Enter X.com, right?
Exactly. His attempt to create a full-fledged financial institution on the internet.
It seems commonplace now, but back then, it was a radical idea.
Totally radical. This was before people were even comfortable buying books online.
Yeah, that's true.
But Musk saw how inefficient traditional banking was and dreamed of this seamless, internet-powered alternative.
And that, of course, came with its own set of challenges.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't all smooth sailing.
What kind of roadblocks did he hit?
He had fierce competition, internal clashes, and then there were the complexities of dealing with financial regulations.
Right. It's not easy to disrupt an industry like banking.
It's like trying to turn a giant ship around, except the ship is full of money and everyone's yelling at you.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
In the midst of all this, he even found time to get married.
Talk about multitasking.
He married Justine Wilson, who he'd been pursuing for a while.
Yeah?
They even honeymooned in Australia, but the trip got cut short by a near-fatal case of malaria.
Oh, wow. I forgot about that. Talk about a dramatic start to married life.
It's intense, right? But even a brush with death couldn't slow Musk down for long.
Nope, not at all. He bounced back quickly and jumped right back into the fray, leading X.com through a high-stakes merger with Confinity, which ultimately led to PayPal.
PayPal. The name's synonymous with online payments today.
Right. It's hard to imagine life without it now.
Seriously.
Mm.
But even with this huge success, Musk faced another major setback.
He did.
The power struggle with Peter Thiel.
Ah, yes, the legendary clash of the Titans.
It ultimately led to Musk being ousted as CEO.
Tough break.
A blow that would have crushed a lot of entrepreneurs.
For sure. But not Musk. He's made of tougher stuff.
He stayed on as an advisor, kept investing, and in the end, he reaped a substantial reward when eBay acquired PayPal for $1.5 billion.
Talk about a consolation prize.
Right. So even in defeat, he came out on top. He had the resources, the experience, and most importantly, the unwavering belief that he could change the world.
And change it he did. But that, my friend, is a story for part 2 of our deep dive.
I can't wait. All right, welcome back to our deep dive into the world of Elon Musk.
Round 2.
Last time we left off with his dramatic exit from PayPal, a company he helped create but ultimately lost control of.
Right.
But this setback didn't hold him back. It's almost like it fueled his ambitions, pushed him towards even bigger things.
Oh, absolutely. It's like he took that energy and channeled it into something even more audacious.
Yeah, and he had the resources to do it after that PayPal sale.
Oh, yeah, millions of dollars at his disposal.
So what did he set his sights on?
2 of the most seemingly impenetrable industries out there. Space exploration and the automotive world.
Space exploration. Seriously?
Yeah.
Was he trying to, start his own version of NASA?
Well, not exactly. But he'd always been fascinated by space, especially the idea of humans living on Mars.
Yeah, that's a recurring theme with Musk, isn't it?
Totally. And he saw how slow and expensive the traditional space agencies were, like NASA.
I can imagine.
He thought he could do it better, faster, cheaper.
So he wanted to build his own rocket company. That sounds incredibly audacious, even for Elon Musk.
Audacious for sure, but also grounded in his deep understanding of technology.
Yeah, he's not just some dreamer. He's got the technical chops.
Exactly. And a willingness to take calculated risks, which is how he approached this whole thing. First, believe it or not, he actually tried to buy ICBMs from Russia.
Hold on, ICBMs, you mean intercontinental ballistic missiles, like the nuclear kind?
Very safe.
You're pretty right. That sounds like something out of a James Bond movie.
I know, right? But in Musk's mind, it made perfect sense.
How so?
He saw them as basically powerful rockets, designed to deliver payloads long distances.
Okay, I guess I can see the logic there.
But the Russians, well, they weren't too keen on selling their military hardware to a tech entrepreneur, even one with millions to spend.
I bet. They probably thought he was crazy.
Pretty much. They laughed him off, dismissed him as a naive newbie.
Ouch, that must have stung.
It would have for most people.
Yeah.
But Musk, he just saw it as a challenge.
Like, oh, you think I can't do it? Watch me.
Exactly. He realized if he wanted to make affordable space travel a reality, he'd have to build those rockets himself.
And that's how SpaceX was born.
That's how it all began. In 2002, SpaceX was officially launched.
Amazing. Turning rejection into fuel for his ambition. Classic Musk.
Classic Musk. But starting a rocket company from scratch is no easy feat, It takes a special kind of team.
Yeah, you need brilliant engineers, shared vision, a high tolerance for risk, not to mention a boatload of money.
You got it.
Yeah.
And Musk, he somehow managed to bring all of those elements together.
He's got a knack for attracting talent.
Oh, yeah. He managed to pull in some of the best minds in the industry, people who were tired of the slow pace and bureaucracy of the traditional aerospace world.
So they were like rebels, ready to shake things up.
Mavericks, all of them ready to push the boundaries.
But working for Musk also means facing some intense pressure, right?
Oh, yeah. He's known for setting ambitious goals.
I remember reading that he wanted to launch their first rocket just 15 months after starting the company.
15 months? That's insane.
I know. Can you imagine the pressure cooker those engineers were in?
It must have been intense, and as you can imagine, things didn't always go according to plan.
I bet there were some hiccups along the way.
Oh, yeah, plenty of them. Technical challenges, logistical nightmares, even some unexpected encounters with the local wildlife at their launch site.
Wait, what happened with the wildlife? I gotta hear.
Their launch site was on Kwajalein Atoll, this tiny island in the Pacific.
Remote, I imagine?
Super remote. They were battling salty air, logistical headaches, and apparently the occasional gecko infestation in their equipment.
Gecko infestation. Seriously.
Oh, yeah, it's in the book. You can't make this stuff up.
That's hilarious. Talk about adding insult to injury.
Right. So they're battling geckos, dealing with all these setbacks. How do they actually pull off this impossible feat of launching a rocket into space?
Yeah, it's a good question. What was the secret to their success?
I think it was a combination of Musk's sheer will, the team's incredible talent and dedication, and their ability to adapt and innovate on the fly.
Sounds about right. But it wasn't without sacrifices, I imagine.
Definitely not. They were pushing themselves to the limit, working insane hours, pouring their hearts and souls into this project.
Yeah, I can only imagine how emotionally draining it must have been, especially with each setback, each failed launch.
Oh, it took a toll, for sure. Especially considering they were operating on a shoestring budget, always on the verge of going broke.
High stakes, for sure.
And their third launch attempt, in 2008, that was make or break time.
If that one failed, the company was done.
Done. It all came down to this one launch.
That must have been nerve-wracking.
Absolutely. I can only imagine the tension as the Falcon 1 rocket lifted off.
So what happened?
After a few agonizing minutes, they achieved orbit.
They did it.
They actually did it. It was a monumental moment, not just for SpaceX, but for the entire idea of private space travel.
I bet. They defied the odds, proved the naysayers wrong.
They showed the world that a private company could actually launch a rocket into space.
But I'm guessing this was just the beginning for Musk, right? This was just step one in his grand plan.
Oh, you know him better than that. The Falcon 1 was just a starting point.
A stepping stone to something bigger.
Exactly. He had his sights set on bigger, more powerful rockets, like the Falcon 9 and the Falcon Heavy.
The ones that could carry humans into space.
Yep, those are the ones.
Yeah.
But he also had this radical idea, like, make those rockets reusable.
Reusable rockets, like land them back on Earth instead of just letting them burn up in the atmosphere.
Exactly. It sounded like science fiction to most people.
I can imagine.
But Musk saw it as the key to making space travel truly affordable and sustainable.
How could they even pull that off?
It took a combination of brilliant engineering, sophisticated software, and a whole lot of trial and error.
And probably a healthy dose of risk-taking, knowing Musk.
Oh, absolutely. Remember that early landing attempt where he nearly lost a Falcon 9 booster because he didn't want to spend the money on better landing legs?
Wait, seriously? He wouldn't pay for better landing legs?
Nope. He was convinced his engineers could make the existing ones work, even though they were pushing them to the absolute limit.
Talk about cutting it close.
It was a gamble, and it almost backfired spectacularly. But it also shows his relentless focus on cost-cutting and finding innovative solutions.
And they did eventually succeed, right? Those reusable rockets are a game changer.
They did. And now, SpaceX routinely lands rockets both on land and at sea. It's almost routine, which is mind-blowing when you think about it.
Totally agree. It's a testament to his vision, his drive for innovation, and the incredible work of his team.
Couldn't have said it better myself. But while SpaceX was reaching for the stars, Musk was simultaneously shaking up another industry down here on Earth, the car industry with his electric car company, Tesla.
Okay, let's shift gears and talk about Tesla. When they first appeared, a lot of people thought they were just a niche player, building expensive electric sports cars for Silicon Valley types.
Yeah, a lot of people underestimated them.
But I have a feeling Musk always had a much grander vision in mind.
Oh, absolutely. From day one, he saw Tesla as a major force in the automotive industry.
He wanted to prove that electric cars could be more than just eco-friendly.
Right. He wanted them to be desirable, high performance, something everyone could get behind.
Ambitious, considering the auto industry is dominated by these giants, companies with decades of experience and massive resources.
It was a David versus Goliath situation for sure.
How could a small startup like Tesla even hope to compete with those titans?
It seemed impossible to a lot of people, but Musk, he had a plan.
Well, lay it on me. What was the master plan?
He started with a statement piece, something to grab attention. The Tesla Roadster.
That was their first car, right? The sleek electric sports car.
The one and only. Built on a modified Lotus Elise chassis.
Yeah, I remember seeing pictures of it. It was a looker.
Oh yeah, it was a head turner. And it was more than just good looks. It was a performance beast.
And this was back when most people thought electric cars were slow, clunky, and had terrible range.
Right. They had this image problem for sure.
But the Roadster shattered those perceptions.
It did. Over 200 miles of range, 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds.
Wow. It was like a statement. Electric cars can be cool, exciting, fun to drive.
It was a game changer. It sent shockwaves through the industry.
And the Roadster was really just the beginning, wasn't it? Like a stepping stone to something more mainstream.
Exactly. The Model S was next on the agenda. A luxury sedan, but with mass appeal.
Okay, so how did that go? Smooth sailing or more bumps in the road?
There were definitely bumps, production delays, budget overruns, skepticism from the industry.
I bet. Change doesn't come easy in a world dominated by gas-guzzling cars.
Especially not when you're trying to convince people to adopt a completely new technology.
But Musk, he persevered, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. He was relentless. He insisted on features that were considered radical at the time, like that giant touchscreen.
I love that touchscreen. It controls pretty much everything in a car.
Right. It was revolutionary. And he also wanted an all-aluminum body, which was unheard of in mass-produced cars in North America.
Bold moves. I bet that created some headaches for his team.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But he essentially forced the industry to adapt to his vision.
I could see him doing that, pushing everyone around him to their limits.
That's Musk in a nutshell. He demanded excellence at every level, and he wasn't afraid to get his hands dirty, you know?
Like actually working on the factory floor.
Exactly, side by side with his team.
That's pretty rare for a CEO, especially one of his stature.
Yeah, it sets him apart. And that hands-on approach, while intense, it definitely got results.
Tell me about it.
When the Model S finally launched in 2012, it was a sensation.
It looked amazing, and the technology was light years ahead of anything else out there.
Oh yeah, it was sleek, stylish, and the range blew everyone away.
That was a big deal, proving that electric cars weren't limited by range anxiety.
It was a knockout punch to the critics, and the Model S quickly became the top-selling luxury sedan in North America, beating out all those gas guzzlers.
It was a huge win for Tesla and for the electric car movement in general.
Absolutely. A major turning point. But Musk wasn't content with just disrupting the car industry. He had an even bigger ambition to transform the entire energy sector.
Okay, that's ambitious even for him.
Right. But that's where Solar City comes in.
Solar City, that was the company founded by his cousins, right? The one that installs solar panels.
That's the one. And Musk saw it as a crucial piece of the puzzle.
How so?
He was thinking about the bigger picture. A sustainable energy future powered by renewables, not fossil fuels.
Okay, I'm starting to see how the pieces fit together.
Solar City was all about providing solar energy solutions for homes and businesses.
Making it easy for people to go solar.
Exactly. They offered innovative leasing programs, streamlined installations, and a big focus on customer service.
So Musk was basically connecting the dots, creating this vertically integrated energy company from solar panel manufacturing to electric car production.
It was a bold vision, but the solar industry is tough, you know?
Yeah, I imagine. It's super competitive, lots of regulations, and you're dealing with powerful utility companies.
Exactly. It was a risky move, but Solar City seemed to defy the odds.
They grew pretty rapidly, didn't they? Became a major player in the residential solar market.
They did. Of course, there were criticisms, concerns about their reliance on government subsidies and their aggressive growth tactics.
Yeah, every company has its critics.
True, but they ultimately proved that a well-run solar company could thrive, even in that tough market.
And Musk's involvement wasn't just about money, was it? He seemed genuinely passionate about the mission.
Oh yeah, he believed in it.
Like, he saw it as a vital part of creating a more sustainable future.
He was a driving force behind their innovative approach, their focus on technology, and their relentless pursuit of growth.
So we've got SpaceX, Tesla, Solar City, all incredibly ambitious companies, each pushing boundaries in their own ways.
It's a pretty impressive track record, wouldn't you say?
For sure. But what about the man behind it all? What makes Elon Musk tick?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Is he this selfless visionary trying to save humanity?
Or is he a ruthless capitalist driven by ego and money?
It's probably a bit of both, wouldn't you say?
I think so. He's a complex guy full of contradictions.
That's what makes him so fascinating.
So let's try to unpack this enigma. What does Vance's biography tell us about his personality, his life outside of work?
Well, one thing is undeniable. The man is a workaholic, absolutely dedicated.
Oh yeah, he's famous for that.
He's known for his relentless work ethic, his demanding nature, his tendency to micromanage.
He expects everyone around him to keep up with him, which is probably pretty tough.
Oh, for sure. And he's not afraid to push people to their limits, and sometimes even beyond.
I remember that email he sent to his employees, basically saying, work your butts off or get out.
Oh yeah, that email caused quite a stir.
It definitely did. It showed his demanding side, his focus on results, and his flexible interpretation of work-life balance.
He's definitely got his own definition of work-life balance, that's for sure. But that email also showed his belief in the mission, his conviction that they were on the cusp of something truly extraordinary.
Yeah, and it seems that his employees, even the ones who butted heads with him, they respected that, didn't they?
Oh yeah, a lot of them speak of him with this mix of admiration and, well, maybe a little bit of fear.
A healthy dose of fear.
Maybe. But they acknowledge his vision, his drive, his ability to make them feel like they're part of something bigger than themselves.
Something that could change the world.
Exactly. But surely, even Elon Musk has a life outside of work, right?
Yeah, there must be some downtime somewhere.
Well, let's just say his personal life has been as unconventional as his business ventures. Maybe even more so.
Okay, spill the tea. What's the scoop on his personal life?
He's been married and divorced multiple times, including 2 marriages to the same woman, actress Tallulah Riley.
No way. 2 marriages to the same person.
Yep, it's true. And he's got 5 sons from his first marriage to Justine Musk.
Wow, that's a lot to handle, on top of running multiple companies.
I can't even imagine. And by his own admission, he struggles to find time for dating.
Yeah, I can see that.
His ex-wives have talked about the challenges of being married to someone so consumed by their work.
It sounds like he pours all of his energy into his companies, which leaves little room for anything else.
Seems that way.
So he's a brilliant, flawed genius, a visionary with a demanding personality and a complicated personal life.
That's a pretty good summary.
But despite his flaws, he's clearly one of the most influential figures of our time.
Oh, absolutely. There's no denying his impact. He's pushing the boundaries of technology, challenging the way we think, inspiring a whole new generation of innovators.
And that's what makes his story so compelling.
It's a reminder that anything is possible if you have the vision and the drive.
And the willingness to take risks, which he has in spades.
For sure. So, the big question is, what's next for Elon Musk?
Where does he go from here? What are his long-term goals?
Those are questions we'll tackle in the final part of our deep dive.
Can't wait to find out. Welcome back to our final installment of our Elon Musk deep dive. It's been quite a journey so far.
It has, hasn't it? From his childhood in South Africa to founding PayPal.
And those mind-blowing ventures with SpaceX, Tesla, and Solar City.
It's a lot to take in.
We've seen the brilliance, the drive, but also the controversies and the sometimes questionable decisions.
Yeah, he's a complex guy, full of contradictions.
But as we wrap up our deep dive, I think the biggest question on everyone's mind is what's next for Elon Musk?
It's hard to imagine, right? He's achieved so much already.
It's like he's already conquered the world.
Right. But knowing Musk, he's not the type to just kick back and relax.
He's always got to be pushing the limits.
Oh, yeah. He's got that restless energy, always looking for the next big challenge. And in this case, the next big challenge is literally out of this world.
You're talking about Mars, right?
Mars, baby. Colonizing Mars, that's the ultimate goal driving a lot of his work.
Making humanity a multiplanetary species, it sounds like something out of science fiction.
It does, doesn't it? But Musk believes it's essential for our survival as a species.
Seriously. He really thinks we need to colonize another planet to survive.
He's dead serious about it.
But that's a whole other level compared to even SpaceX, right?
Oh, yeah, it's orders of magnitude more complex.
So how does he even plan to pull this off?
The key is SpaceX's Starship, that massive spacecraft we've been seeing images of.
Oh yeah, the one designed for deep space missions.
That's the one. It's a fully reusable spacecraft capable of carrying up to 100 people.
And it's designed to be refueled on Mars.
That's the plan. He believes they can produce methane on Mars, which would allow the Starship to make the return trip to Earth.
It's mind-blowing, the scale of this ambition.
Yeah.
But knowing Musk, I wouldn't bet against him.
He's defied the odds before, but while SpaceX is aiming for Mars, he's still got Tesla and Solar City to juggle.
Yeah, he's got a lot on his plate.
And on the electric vehicle front, Tesla is still pushing the boundaries, developing new models, building charging stations, and working on self-driving technology.
So they're not just making cars, they're trying to revolutionize transportation.
Exactly. Musk wants to see gas-powered cars become a thing of the past.
And with Solar City, he's still pushing towards that vision of a sustainable energy future, right?
Oh, yeah. He wants to see homes and businesses generating their own clean energy, storing it with advanced batteries, even feeding it back into the grid.
It's a pretty ambitious, almost utopian vision.
It is, but given his track record, it's not totally out of reach.
He's certainly got a knack for making the impossible seem possible.
But let's be real, it hasn't all been sunshine and roses for Elon Musk.
Yeah, he's had his fair share of controversies and setbacks.
Some people criticize his leadership style, his demanding nature, his tendency to maybe overpromise and underdeliver.
He's definitely not afraid to make bold claims, that's for sure.
And then there are the controversies around his personal life, his tweets, his battles with regulators.
He definitely stirs the pot sometimes.
It's all part of the Elon Musk experience, I guess. You either love him or you hate him, but you can't ignore him.
That's for sure. So as we wrap up our deep dive, where do you see Elon Musk going from here?
That's a tough one to answer. Your guess is as good as mine.
He's already achieved so much. Where do you even go from there?
Well, he's still relatively young, and he's got that relentless ambition.
I don't see him slowing down anytime soon.
Me neither. He's always pushing the envelope, trying to solve the world's biggest problems, even if it means ruffling some feathers along the way.
That's what makes him such a fascinating figure.
He's a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming challenges, we can achieve incredible things with vision, determination, and a willingness to take risks.
Well, that's it for our deep dive into the world of Elon Musk. It's been a wild ride.
We've covered a lot of ground, from his early days as a programmer in South Africa to his ambitious plans to colonize Mars.
We've seen the highs and the lows, the triumphs and the setbacks.
And hopefully we've given you a better understanding of this complex and influential figure.
But now we want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on Elon Musk?
Do you admire his ambition? Are you skeptical of his methods? Share your thoughts with us.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Elon Musk. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and never stop pushing the boundaries of what's possible.